Hi Leon, firstly thank you very much for agreeing to talk to me about your experiences from following your brain injury. Can you just tell me first a little bit about what happened?
Yes, so over 10 years ago, I was admitted to a hospital with tonsillitis and glandular fever. My airways began to close because of swelling in my throat. It took the doctors 40 minutes to get a tube down my throat to help me breathe. During this time, I had very limited oxygen to my brain, which caused my brain injury. The hardest bit has been the emotional changes. My brain finds it harder to keep a lid on feelings, and I can get really anxious and really down. My brain can also get stuck going around and around on problems, and then it gets more and more tired. I know people say to me they get tired too, but it's not like a normal tiredness. It is like a wall comes down and I can't think.
I think that's a really, really good description. And I think, do you think that it helped learning a little bit about what happened in your brain to kind of try and make sense of some of this?
Yes, definitely. Understanding how my brain has been affected after my injury made me feel more in control, and it felt less scary. It helped seeing the different parts of my brain that were affected and the links with my triggers. I also understand my strengths and areas that are harder and that help, and what helps.
Yeah, brilliant. We also spoke about some of the sort of early days, what that was like for you after your brain injury. Can you share a little about that?
Yes. So when I first left that hospital bed, I knew my life had changed, but wasn't sure how much until I tried to get back to work. And my anger issues, memory issues, and fatigue were hard for me to hide. I didn't really understand what was going on in my brain, and trying to hide my emotions made me even more tired and angry with myself. I never wanted to be known as a lad with a disability, so it took a long time for me to learn how to accept life was different.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think acceptance is something that we've discussed in therapy around, you don't have to be okay with what's happened, but I think it's important to stop blaming yourself, because then you can start focusing on looking forwards.
I think I tackle problems differently now. I used to have outbursts of anger and feeling so down in a pit with only a medium-sized ladder, so no way of escape. But I now have strategies that have been set by my team that don't get me wrong. I still have bad days when everything when everything gets too much, and it feels like two rams clashing in my head. But we all have bad days.
Yeah.
I now try and discuss the bad thoughts more. As being male, I often suffer in silence, and for a while, or try to make a joke of it, but sooner or later, it would splurge out like lava from a volcano. I also used to avoid doing things that seemed to make life harder.
I think that makes absolute sense. And I think those hidden changes that others can't see can sometimes make us feel alone and overwhelmed. And then we do start to avoid the things that scare us. And then we almost stay in our comfort zone. But then over time, our comfort zone gets smaller and smaller. And then we start feeling like we don't have much confidence in getting back out there again.
Yes, I agree. And because my brain struggled with noise and lots of people and unpredictable situations, my world did shrink. It wasn't until I started setting small challenges with help of my team, and then I started to believe in myself. So going to the gym was a massive one for me. And I remember thinking I have done something I never felt I would do. And that made me feel proud of myself. And more recently, I did an around the world physical challenge set by my OT Kate. And I did some fundraising for SameYou, which definitely made me feel like I was more involved in something bigger than me, which really helped. I'm still learning new things about my brain, and now the new Leon, that's how I often really refer to myself. As I think that is something that's going to be ongoing.
Well, thank you very much for sharing, Leon.
You're welcome.